I am not having a good hair day, so we're just gonna keep it pinned back for the remainder of the video. It's been a while since I've done Get Ready With Me, just testing new products. I went through my to try makeup bin, pulled out some products that were interesting to me. The most important being, I'm finally going to play with the Pat McGrath Star Wars Divine Droid. So we will get there with this, but I also thought, you know, we could chat about the new year. What's up with me? What's up with my channel? There's no major announcements or anything. Just chit-chatting because I love this time of year. So for primer, I pulled out this from Pixie Beauty. This is the Flawless Beauty Primer. They always send amazing PR packages, but I feel like I never see other influencers using their products as much. And they send me PR. And then I also don't use it as much. So I want to try more of their products and really see what's worth it and what's not. Because truth be told, I love the aesthetic of their brand and they always catch my eye at Target. I think they've done a great job. I just don't know why, myself included, why are we not talking about this brand? I feel like I never see anybody else using their products, so I don't think to reach for them. But this is giving a really nice luminous base to the skin. It's semi-affordable. It's not as low as other drugstore makeup brands, but it's kind of in between mid-range and drugstore price points. And this gives a very similar effect to the Rare Beauty Illuminating Primer, but even more illuminating. Wait a second. There are little flecks of glitter, so some of you guys might not like that. Just be aware of that, but let's see if the glitter flakes show through foundation, because that is a very luminous base. I definitely feel like that might be a dupe for some higher end alternatives. I'll have to take a look. Now for foundation, I got a PR package from Essence, and I love Essence foundations. I think they do a phenomenal job at their ridiculously cheap price point. I didn't even know that they launched this, but had I known, I totally would have purchased these myself. So these are called the Keep Me Covered Long Lasting Foundation. They're supposed to be transfer and waterproof. And just FYI, most of this stuff is PR except for the Pat McGrath eye palette that I did purchase myself. So this is going to be for $6.99 or $5.99 depending on where you purchase it. But at Ulta, I think it's probably $6.99. These look kind of deep. I'm going to start off by trying the shade 110 Buff. This looks quite yellow, but I don't have many shades to choose from, so we'll use it anyways. Ooh, very, very yellow based. I wonder what other shades that they have. So let's just do one half of the face. It's pretty liquidy consistency. It feels really light on the skin. Essence is just one of those brands that's so dirt cheap. Some of their items are major hits, but occasionally they also have the major misses. So I'm really curious about this because it is one of the cheapest brands that you can find out. So ignore the color. I have no control over that right now, but I think it looks really nice. It's definitely not a full coverage, but it has a very pretty natural glow to it. Because it's thinner, I can definitely see that Pixie Beauty Primer coming through. I'm gonna do one more pump. Let's put it on this side of my face. And if you don't know why, I like to kind of lay and spread the foundation down with my finger and then use the sponge to buff it in, because that's how, one, you waste the least amount of product, and two, it gives the most even coverage, and the sponge just kind of pushes everything in to make it look more natural. I cannot believe we are already 11 days into the new year. I talked about this on Instagram, but I am a huge New Year's resolutions person. I don't think they're stupid. I actually follow them most of the time. Eating healthy is one I fail at every year, but like working out was a resolution of mine. I work out almost every day. A few years ago, I said I was gonna floss. I now floss every night. So I really do follow a lot of my New Year's resolutions. So I'm excited for this year. And this year I have the least amount of resolutions, I would say, because I did such a good job this past year kind of breaking bad habits and trying to just, I don't know, it sounds corny, but live the best life for me, that I don't feel like there's much I want to change or improve on. Well, there's a lot I want to improve on, but I don't have a ton this year. I just realized I was not as close as I needed to be for this foundation. So yeah, this runs a little deep because normally like a 110 buff would be too light for me, but I think it's sitting really nice on my skin. Let me get closer to the mirror. Wow, I think it looks really nice. It doesn't look heavy on the skin at all. I can see the primer peeking through. So far, this is looking super nice. We'll have to see. It gives like a medium so coverage. It has a pretty natural finish. It's not the most blurring or smoothing, so keep that in mind. But overall, I think it looks like it would be a very good everyday foundation. We will continue to keep track of that. I'm going to go into eyebrows now. I'm pulling from an indie brand, Face Blue Cosmetics. This is the Micro Precise Brow Pencil, and it looks really good, and I'm excited to play with an indie brand for this. I think the packaging of this just looks so cute, and this does look nice and small, and I like that there's a spoolie at the end. So I'm going to brush my eyebrow hairs up and then start filling in. So I like to line along the bottom, and then I'll start filling in the brow hairs. So with the new year, I noticed a lot of creators kind of getting their goals in for this year and starting them, and there has obviously been a shift in social media with the short form content. So I think you guys will see a lot of that from other creators, more short form content. But yeah, it's a good time for everybody to kind of reevaluate their goals for the year, money goals, growth goals, all of that. And I just want to say a huge thank you and how appreciative I am of you guys, because 2022 for my channel, I just want to acknowledge this, was my best year yet by far. And not just on YouTube, but also TikTok and Instagram. I think I started off the year cumulatively with all of my followers put into one just barely hitting 100,000. Now to this day I am over 500,000 cumulative followers, which is insane. So it's been a huge growth year for me. So thank you for those of you who have taken the time to watch any of my videos and support me. This year went above and beyond the goals that I had last year. My major goal for 2022 was to hit 100,000 on YouTube. I have 150,000. And we're 10 days into January. So I don't even have goals for my YouTube channel, if I'm being honest. I am so happy with where I'm at. I'm so thankful for my community. And I don't really talk about this that much, but I did just want to say thank you. Your support does not go unnoticed, and I really, really appreciate you all so much. Side note, this brow pencil, very, very nice. I like it. It got the job done. And this color is a little darker than I normally go, but it actually is kind of the exact color of my eyebrows, so it looks really natural. And then we're going to go ahead with another indie brand eyebrow product. I really like Baybrow. This is their eyebrow gel, the Glam Clear Brow Gel. So let's see, I'm super picky with brow gels, so I don't know. So one of the major changes that I made to my channel, or shifts I had in my channel in 2022, was adding the shorts. I've had so much fun creating them, you guys. Obviously, long form videos are not going anywhere. I love to talk about makeup, and I got a lot to say about makeup, so long form videos are still my #1, but I love doing like compilation videos, ranking videos, top 5, bottom 5, best and worst in short form. I just think it's so fun to, I'm a little mean in those videos, you guys. I don't know, I just have so much fun trying to make it as entertaining as possible in a short amount of time. So if you aren't watching those, there is some really useful information. I'm definitely going to continue that into this year. And I think YouTube is shifting where they're actually, I think, going to pay creators now for the short form videos. So that's why I think you'll see a lot of other people making the short form videos, which I'm stoked about because I love making them. So I will definitely continue to have focus on that. And side note, this brow gel is amazing. what? I'll have to see if it holds the brows up, but it really is setting these brows in place. It kind of feels a little bit like glue, but not in a super sticky way. But this is really taming the brow. Wow, this is really good. Okay, I'm really happy with that. I'm going to take just a little bit of concealer and lightly clean up underneath the eyebrows. So all of this to say, for the new year, I'm just really thankful for the year that I had this previous year, and I can only hope to have the same result as last year, because I really feel like I found out who I was as a creator, which sounds stupid, but I really was more than ever myself in my videos this year, and really dove into what made me happy and talking about what I wanted to talk about, which hasn't changed much over the years. I love talking about makeup, but I feel like I've really honed in on what excites me about makeup and what I want to talk about in regards to makeup. So it's been a fun ride this year. So I'm going to also focus some of the coverage right in the inner corner. I'm going to quickly go off camera, do one eye, and we're going to play with Divine Droid on camera together. This is kind of like the most exciting, important part of this video. So part of me wanted to redo this eye. I don't know if you can see, but it's totally patchy. But I'm going to show you realistically how this palette worked for me. I have kind of mixed feelings because I was so excited for this. I love this formula from Pat McGrath. I think it's so nice. But in terms of using colorful shades, I found this palette a little difficult to work with. But I'm going to make this eye better because I know what I did wrong on the other eye. I think a better eyeshadow primer would be the ABH eye primer because it's so white and bright. But I don't want my eyes to look different from one another. Actually, no, I do. I want to show you the difference. You're experimenting along with me, but I did just use a little bit of the Kaleidos Tone Activator. I'm trying not to put too much down of the ABH, but I want to see what a difference this makes. And I'm keeping it pretty thin, but you can see it is just brightening my eye, and I think it will work better with these specific colors. So first and foremost, there are no matte shades in this Divine Droid palette, so that's part of it. You can get a much better look to begin with if you use the correct matte shades, but I was being stubborn and I only want to use this palette. So take a look. Here's the palette. I don't love this collection from Pat McGrath, but this palette right here is stunning. It's so different than what Pat McGrath normally does, so I was extremely excited about this palette. So we're going to start off with Ultraviolet Messenger, which is this dark purple. I'm using a BK Beauty A502 brush, and this is a shimmer shade, but the way that I'm using it is not the way that it really likes to be used by blending it out, so I did find I needed to spend some extra time to work this out, which is fine. I would like for this to work just as good as a matte, like a lot of other high quality shades that I've tested, but that's just not the reality, and it's fine. So I'm just going to start off by doing that, and then I'm going to take a shader brush, and I'm putting some of that shade right on the eyelid to keep the opacity of the color down here, just like that. And I found with the other eye that I had to go in a lot and rebuild because the shade just does not like being used like this. This is a Rephr number 15 blending brush if you're curious. But yeah, it looks a little patchy to me. It's not blending out great. I'm gonna fix this side, but I wanted to show you that I too, in fact, struggled with this. So we're gonna start off there. I'm going to continue to build, but you can see it's not looking fantastic, right? I'm struggling to blend the color out here. So I think if you want an outer corner blend like this, you're going to have to dig into another palette with a matte, which is a little disappointing because I've dealt with a lot of luxury shadows that would work fine like this, but something to keep in mind. And then I'm using a MAC brush, and I'm going into the shade right next to it. And I don't really want too much to do with this shade. I actually applied way more on the other eye than I initially anticipated, but I'm just going to put it right there just to blend out the edges of the purple, but I have over half of my lid still visible. So just like that, I will blend the top later. And then I'm going to use a Rephr number 2 brush, and we're going into this blue shade. So one thing I've noticed with this palette is I feel like it would very much benefit from wetting the eyeshadows, but for some, I'm anti-wetting the eyeshadows. I feel like a good shadow doesn't need to be wet. It will always amplify, of course, so no issue if you do it. But in terms of reviewing, I like to show it without it being wet. And that looks really pretty. For some reason on this eye, I just couldn't get it to be vivid. It keeps fading. So we'll see how this reacts when we blend and all of that. But right now you see how vivid it is versus this eye. I'm worried about this palette. I saw Patty Alonso did a look with this palette, and it was so beautiful. I wanted to do that look and copy her because she does the most beautiful eye looks. But I first just wanted to test the palette in a way that I knew I could really tell you the quality of the colors. So I'm going to go into this green shade next. But if you're looking for a stunning look, check out Patty Alonso's channel. She did the most beautiful look with this palette. I'm definitely going to have to recreate it. But this is going in the inner corner. This side already, look how much better that's looking than this eye. I don't know what happened here. I think a bright base is going to really, really help, especially if it's sticky too. Like the P. Louise base would be great. So this requires a certain base to make it work, which is disappointing that it needs to be worked with in order to work. But something as simple as that, if you don't mind, would make a big difference. Oh my gosh, okay. I like this eye so much better than whatever happened on the first eye. But I wanted to leave this way to show you. I, who test palettes every single day, messes with so many formulas, had to mess around with this in order to find the best way to optimize this application. So that might be the nail in the coffin for a reason that you don't need this palette. Because this one is by far the prettiest and most unique, but it's not the most user-friendly, I would say, at first try. Not that it's difficult. So I just wanted to note that, but that being said, this is absolutely gorgeous. So I'm going to mix in a little bit of the darker purple, and I've decided, since I love this eye so much, I'm going to take this off camera and redo it. But I love the way that these colors all look together. So shout out to the color story for being so beautiful. But make sure you use a very bright and sticky base, or a wet brush would also help, or mixing it with mattes from a different palette to maximize this palette. It's not the most expensive from Pat McGrath, so that makes it a little bit better. But yeah, this was a fail, and it was so patchy because I did not apply these correctly. So give me a second, I'll be back. We're looking much better now. This look is everything. I love the combination of colors in here. I have a couple of different concealers that I was debating between because Bare Minerals just launched this new Complexion Rescue brightening concealer, but also Essence has the Keep Me Covered concealer version. So part of me wants to use this one to see how it goes with the foundation. So I think we're going to do that. We'll save the Bare Minerals for next time. But yeah, this is also Essence's new concealer to go with the foundation. Though I am worried because the foundations they sent me were so dark for me. But these look really light. Looks like the deepest shade that they sent me was Shell. And by the way, off camera, I did use a makeup wipe to clean up underneath. Ooh, I don't know why I was worried that this would look like spackle and super dry, but it's much more thin than I was expecting. What has given me a bad experience that I think this Essence concealer was gonna not be good? I mean, I'm speaking too soon, but where's my sponge? Gonna use my beauty blender. Obviously, this is on the light side for me, but we're just gonna use it as a highlighter. I'm very lucky that I don't have too deep under eyes, because if your under eyes are too dark or too purple or too blue, if you use a concealer that's too light, it's going to show through. So if you do have that problem and you're using a concealer that's too light, put a color corrector underneath and that will really help. This is, again, much more lightweight than I was expecting. That looks really good. It doesn't give full coverage. It definitely is more natural. Oh my gosh, I just looked at my crusty lips. That is embarrassing. Anyways, I'm surprised at how light and natural, like it looks hydrating so far in the under eyes. It has a little bit of a glow. It's a lighter coverage, but if you use a color corrector underneath, you won't need too much additional coverage. Wait, I really like this combo, and this concealer is a shocker to me. For some reason, I wasn't expecting to like it. There was something about it that I didn't like, but now I take that back. I might have to buy this in a little bit of a deeper shade, but that's okay for now. Ooh, do you see how hydrating it looks on the under eyes? I almost don't want to put a powder on top to mess it up because it looks so good. I have a cream bronzer. This is not a new product, but I've been wanting to try the Milk Makeup Bionic Bronzer. Okay, no, I had a brain fart. I have the Bionic Blush from Milk Makeup, but I want to use a cream bronzer today. This has been sitting in my to try drawer for a little bit, so I finally thought today's video would be a good opportunity to try it, though it is a little bit more of a summer appropriate product, but that's fine. Oof, that looks a little scary. I'm gonna use this Morphe E63 brush. Hopefully it works a little bit more like the Charlotte Tilbury. Yeah, okay. It's not as scary as it looks. Kind of is blending in like the Charlotte Tilbury. If I'm being honest, it does have a little bit more depth, but I'm happy I chose to go this way in terms of application, because I was a little scared there. I need it to definitely be more controlled. And this brush from Morphe I use all the time to blend out bronzer or liquid contour, because it's really very precise. At least applied in this way, this product is beautiful. Wow. The shade is Shape Shifter, if you were curious. I would say ideally, I like my bronzer to be a little bit brighter than this, but it is a-okay. Then get just under the jawline. Ooh, not a new product, but this is pretty. I like it. It is a bit dark, so I'm going to use my sponge that just had that super light concealer. It's only a bit dark because I used the concealer that was so light, so there's a heavier contrast than I would like. But the product itself, I would definitely say the best method of application for that is to spread it out on the back of your hand. But we like that, that's good. And I've been dying to try these. I think Lottie London is one of the most affordable brands at Ulta. So we have these Sweet Blush liquid blushes. Please don't mess up my face, because I want my makeup to look good because the eyes look good. I think this color is the winner. So this is the Sweet Blush liquid blush in the shade Soft Rose. Okay, so here's how it looks. So far this video is a success, so I am really optimistic. Wait, you guys, I got so focused on the makeup, I forgot I was like talking about myself. I never do that. But if there's anything in terms of content you would like to see, feel free to comment down below. If there's any content that you don't like I'm doing, kindly let me know. But for 2023, what type of content are you guys interested in? Oh, this is also pretty. Gotta get closer to see if it disrupted anything underneath. But it gives a really healthy glow to the cheek. Maybe it's a little bit glowier than I normally prefer. But that is also very pretty. Nothing that is going on after this better mess up my makeup, because it's looking so good. I'm gonna add a little bit more just to see how it layers. Using my sponge to spread it out. I find patting with this sponge will help reduce any breakage of the base underneath. That looks so good. Okay, it's time for powder now. I don't have a new powder, so I'm just going to use the Bare Minerals Mineral Veil. But I did buy a pack of these from Amazon. If any of you guys follow Alex Earl on TikTok, I was in fact influenced to purchase these. So it's just a really cheap pack for these little powder applicators. I'm not going to do anything too heavy because I really am liking how the concealer's looking, but I'm just going to press and then dab that on. Nothing too heavy. Let's get down here. And then I'm going a little heavier where I would like it brightened. Like for example, I'm looking really dark down here. Just make it just a very different color from my neck is what I mean by dark. So I'm going to layer on a little bit more in the center of the forehead. This powder isn't anything super amazing, but she gets the job done. So that's why I'm using that. And makeup looks so good right now. Ooh, I'm so happy. Let's finish up the rest of the face. I got this from a holiday set from e.l.f. This is the Simply Enchanted face palette. It's, like I said, it's from the holidays, so I don't know if this is even still available or not, but I haven't used this yet, so I wanted to. Very interesting mix of colors. I don't even know where to start. I'm gonna mix this shade and this shade just to set the bronzer on the outer part of my face, because remember, I only use that liquid bronzer, but this kind of reminds me of the colors in the Scott Barnes bronzer palette, which, is he coming back? Has he come out with new products? Anyways, that's just gonna set that. I live in Miami, you guys. I have to set my makeup. And this shade looks the closest to the liquid blush. Again, I don't really want to disrupt anything. I love the glow that it gives, but I'm just using something with color to set over this. And I didn't have a highlighter pulled, so I'm going to use the highlight right here in this palette. Oh, that's a nice highlight. Okay, I like that. I mean, I don't think that this is the best thing e.l.f. has ever put out. It's just a cheap little cheek palette, but it got the job done, so it came useful. So if they have this on sale, since it was a holiday item, this could be good to give to a teenager, or if you are just looking for something to travel with that you're not afraid of breaking. I think this is nice. It's not the end-all be-all. I don't think the colors in here are amazing by any means, but you can definitely find use for it. I'm not mad at it at all. In fact, I'm actually going to take the highlighter that I just used. I'm going to highlight my inner corner, just right here. See, that's real pretty. This highlight is definitely better than I was expecting. It looked kind of bland and just dull in the pan, but the gleam is really, really pretty. And that highlight would also work good for medium skin tones. Okay, so I'm happy with that. Let's do the lower lash line now to complete the eyes. This is like the longest get ready I've ever done. So I'm trying to use a smaller brush. Hopefully I don't make a mess. We're just gonna do exactly what we did on the upper lash line. So I'm taking purple shade. Probably a pencil brush would be better for this, but putting this in the outer corner of the lower lash line. A pinch of this, just right here. This is the least visible color in the look. And then lots of the blue. Oh my gosh, I just realized I meant to use this shade on the lower lash line, but I got too carried away. The colors are just so fun and pretty. And then finishing off this beautiful green shade right in here. Oh, stunning. And for eyeliner, I want to see if this is a dupe for the Kaja dual-ended stamp liners. So this is the Lottie London stamp liner. I'm worried because I don't really like the other Lottie London eyeliner that I have, but I want to see how the stamp is. So we're going to try it anyways. I used to hate stamps and I still don't love them, but I have found the use in them. So how it works. One side is a stamp for your wing, then the other side is just a regular marker, which is really, really fat. Let's try the wing. Now the wing is hard because you got to get the angle right, and like I normally have one going this way and one going that way. So holding my breath, let's try this. Okay. Somewhat even. That might be the most even I've ever gotten it. So you can see it's not like the perfect triangle, but easy enough to fill in with this marker side, which is fatter than I prefer. Ooh, wait, this is a really good dupe for the Kaja. Okay, so I definitely like the quality of the Kaja eyeliner more. It's more black. But for the stamp side, if you want the stamp side, get this. My wings are definitely higher pointed than I normally do, but it's giving me an eye lift at least. Wow, okay, I'm really happy with this in terms of it being a dupe. I think the quality of the Kaja is better, but the novelty of the wing stamp is pretty much the same. So I'm gonna do some mascara and lashes since I don't have anything new to try, and then we'll finish up this makeup with the lips already. How are we already here? Yes! Oh, yes, yes, yes. Okay, I did use the Kiss Ruffle lashes, by the way. Now let's do lips. So I definitely wanted to use one of the Kaleidos Lip Lab Clay. Lip Lab Clay, or something like that. Lips that they just, you know what I'm saying. I wanted to use one of these. They just launched a new collection of 2 different sets. So this one, the more icy one, has more brown-based colors, but I definitely knew I wanted a more pink-based lip. So I went into this set, and I'm gonna be honest with you guys, the color that I chose is not a color that I'm going to be wearing out. Like, I'm gonna switch this for a nude pink. But we're going to use Rosefire because I wanted to show you this formula because I love this formula. So I'm quickly going to line my lips with Pat McGrath Labs Bare Rose. You can see I swatched it on my lips first. But yeah, if you're bold enough to rock this lip color with these eyes, go for it. I will be switching to a nude, but I wanted to show you. I'm not really going to overline or anything. So here we are. Look at this color. I love this formula so much. It is matte, but it doesn't feel dry, and it blurs the lips and the lip lines. Super comfortable, lasts a long time. One of the best lip formulas. I did a terrible job applying this. How do I resolve this? Okay, I'm gonna fix this and go off camera, and then pretend like this never happened. And here is the final look. Oh, what? That wasn't there a second ago. Oh me, oh my. Okay, whatever, it's fine. I'm taking this off anyways. But here's the final look, and I love it. I mean, I think it is so stunning, and there is not a product in today's video that I didn't enjoy. I thought the primer was decent. The foundation so far looks awesome. Likewise with the concealer, even the eyebrow gel, which has dried down by the way, and my brows are set in place. The brow pencil was great. Bronzer, blush, the e.l.f. palette, the eyeliner is okay. This is not great, but it's okay. It gets the job done. We'll see how it wears. The lip product's beautiful. I am a little unsure about this palette because I'm hypnotized by the colors in here. It looks stunning on my eyes, but you did see I struggled with it a little bit. But once I got the hang of it, I did get the hang of it. But all together, all of these products, they pulled together to look amazing. Like, this is the close-up of my skin. I didn't even use a setting spray to set anything in. My skin looks like really smooth. I love how the Essence Keep Me Covered little line here. It feels so lightweight on the skin. It doesn't look drying right now. Thoroughly impressed with everything. If you are interested in anything in today's video, I do recommend it. I will have it linked down below if you're interested, but this was a successful get ready with me. It was supposed to be a chit chat, but as per usual, I got so sucked into the makeup that I was having so much fun. That's all I focused on. Oh, I keep staring at that. Okay, anyways, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. And like I said, let me know what you would like to see this year in videos, my channel. I'm open to listening to feedback. And yeah, I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye guys, have a good one.